All right, what's going on, guys? It is Noiz.I here, back with another episode of Noiz.I Talks. But friends, if you are new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. We are on our way to 1K. Our guest today, I always like to introduce the guest before I introduce their name. This is a person that I've really admired recently over the last few months, especially with like the type of music and the type of feels that he posts on his social media, and how big of a drive he has for music and like his work ethic. And I was just telling him off camera like how much I really appreciate his last project, because it's super authentic, and it's like I'm kind of in like a poppy alternative wave right now, and for him to put that out and like, you know, because like he's really not a singer, but for him to trust himself to just go for it and do it, that's something I really admired. And I really take what he does, and like I also dissected it. So like I was telling him, you know, his song arrangement with his last project was amazing. So like that's something I've kind of been taking day by day, is like really understanding, you know, how to put forth better production and song arrangement just because of how his last project was. So today I have
Kane, or Kane and Beats. You're good at this shit.
Yeah. I've been doing it for a couple episodes, bro.
Good, bro.
No, I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
No, yeah, but for people who don't know you, please give like a small background on who you are, what you do.
All right, yep. My name is Kane and Beats. My real name is Kanan. I'm a music producer. I make music. I just recently got into recording for my artist friends. I like recording, but I like making beats more. It's my favorite thing. And yeah, I just put out an album. He just gassed me up on
it's no, guys. Like I'll make sure I'll link the project in the description. But like when I tell you guys, like this project is really good, and like it's there's two local projects that I praise, and that's him and Crabs Without Legs. That's another friend of mine that I'll probably have one at another time. But local projects, like not a lot of people locally impress me, but like as soon as I press play, I'm like, what? Like this is in this area? So it's something that I really appreciate, that people continue to push the boundary of music and, you know, everything else. But me not really knowing who he is, it was an honor to have him on today, just to obviously get to know him a little bit more. Because you know, I appreciate his artistry, music, and musicianship, but I also want to understand what he does outside of that. So for those people who don't really tune into the episodes, I asked the interviewee 6 questions, and they have no idea what they are. So it's mainly because I like to have organic conversation, because if I was to inform them the questions ahead of time, they can give me a fixated answer. So a lot of it is just really understanding how people react in real time. Like if I say something that, like, you know, triggers someone, you'll see it in real time. If I say someone that offends someone, you'll see it in real time. So it's like I really try to help people unpack a lot of stuff that has happened to them in the past or even presently, and I really try to, you know, help them walk through that, because that's something that I'm trying to do with myself, is, you know, how can I use communication on, you know, 1,000 different topics or 1,000 different ways to help people or to help myself. So 6 questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. And I have a list today, people. Usually it's off of a phone, so I'm trying to be a little bit more professional. So you know what I'm saying?
All right,
you know what I'm saying? So all right, here we go.
Cool.
You let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Question number 1. How do you elevate your music to reach other audiences, or do you feel that what you're producing now reaches those other people?
Okay, so it's kind of 2-part.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the first part first. Ask it just the first part, and then I'm gonna try my best.
So the first part is, how do you elevate your music to reach other audiences?
Okay, yeah. So this could be beats or just
music in general.
Okay.
Either your music or whatever.
Google Ads.
Yeah.
Google Ads recently, but other than that, dude, I really just make music for the people around me, my friends to listen to, and my family to listen to. When I first started making music, I really didn't get into it with the thought of like, I want to blow up. It's as weird as that sounds, or like I want to make a whole bunch of money off of it. That'd be nice, but my original plan was just to put out music so that me and my friends and my family can listen to it and enjoy it. But Google Ads, for the first answer, On my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
YouTube channel for sure. Yeah. For beats, definitely Google Ads. Oh, TikTok. That's a good one. TikTok, take advantage of it. I don't like consuming the content on there, but I definitely like making it. The algorithm's too crazy for me. It just knows exactly what I like. And that's a problem for me.
Yeah. So to kind of go back to the question, so you answered how it reaches other audiences, but how do you elevate your producing for you to reach other audiences, if that makes sense? So you said how different platforms, how different ads reach people, but how do you change your demeanor in music, or like how do you push the boundary in music for you to touch other people? Because like, you know, what we were talking off camera was like Lil Yachty, for example, he did a psychedelic rock album,
for sure.
And something that you're pushing or did push on your last project was kind of like alternative pop. So it's like for people that, you know, dive into different types of music, how do you feel like you can elevate your production or elevate your musicianship to reach those people, if that makes sense at all?
Yeah, that does make sense.
Okay.
So I just be myself. That's what I do. What's crazy is the reason I made this album was because I was sitting in my room, and because I've never felt inspired to just record myself ever. So I was just sitting in my room, and this is weird, but I recorded it in a week, the whole thing. So it was like maybe like 1 to 2 songs a day, and it could be better, but mixing wise. But I was sitting there thinking like, I just need to say something. And what's weird is I didn't second guess anything. I didn't like have to sit there and like, I was like, man, I'm stuck on this song. It's like, once I had the chorus, the hook fell in line, the verse fell in line, the intro, the outro, and then mixing it, and then it was done. Like I wasn't even sitting there like, nah. Like once I was satisfied with it, I just put it out. So I just felt inspired, and I wanted to just be myself on the album, for sure.
I mean, like I feel like a lot of people really don't look at that narrative that way, because like you said, you know, I mean, you really didn't think about music for the sake of blowing up, but like people look at music for the sake of blowing up or for the sake of the success behind it or the income behind it. But if like it's like if you don't have the true love for what you do, like if you don't have the work ethic, if you don't have the will to do, you're never going to actually love it over time.
Right. And
like then it just becomes a job at that point. What you love to do shouldn't be a job. Like I mean, obviously, like we understand, you know, when you do events or concerts, whatever, like, you know, that's completely different. But just the work behind it, like you have to love to do it.
Right. You're saying it shouldn't feel like a job.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And then the second part was, do you feel what you're producing now reaches those other people? And like you kind of answered that, because it's like you're not really making it to satisfy other people. It's mostly just for how you feel. So can you kind of like elaborate that just a little bit?
Yeah, I can. Honestly, dude, I just think like the best way to reach people is just to be yourself. And 9 times out of 10, if you're going through something and you record it and write it down, there's another person that's going to understand and can relate to exactly what you're saying. And that's the most important part, in my opinion. I think the people, like I've always believed, sometimes like you can go through things and it feels like you're the only person going through it. You're the only person that's ever felt this way. It's crazy what it feels like, whether it be anxiety or depression or anything. You can just feel super alone and feel like you're the only person. But the truth is like, you're not. Like it's, especially now, it's pretty common, dude. So that helps me relax. So, I mean, if you feel anxious about something and then you just want to like make a song about it, or you feel angry and you want to make a song about it, or you have a lot of love in you, you want to make a song about it, there's someone out there who's going to resonate with this music you're putting out, or art. It could be any art.
Yeah, and like
painting.
And like, you know, how people really just relate in general. Like relation is how art really works. Like, you know, once you express a certain feeling, a certain whatever, and like you can put it to the public eye, and it's like, you know, I made this because, and people are like, wow, you know, I was in the same place you were with my problems or whatever. So it's like, you know, when people can see your canvas and then relate your life to your canvas, it's a beautiful thing.
For sure. So
go ahead.
Round off that question, dude, just be yourself. That's my every time, like, I've never sat down to make a song and be like, I'm just trying to make this group of people understand me. Like,
wow.
I don't care.
Yeah, and that makes me kind of feel bad for even asking that question like that. No. But I really appreciate your answer like that, because, like, again, a lot of people try to please other people, but it's really not about that. It's about the love and want to do it and, you know, to express.
Correct. Yeah, dude. One last thing on that. So
yeah.
I used to listen to so much music, like more music than I think the average person would listen to, especially just walking to school. I would just have headphones in all the way to school, and then all the way through the hallways, and then all the way back home I'd be listening to music. And every time I was in the car, listening to music. So that was the whole reason when I started listening to music. Once I got to high school, I was like, oh, I could really make this music that I love listening to so much. So that was the whole plan, was just to make music that I like. So just be yourself.
And that's important. So people, if you're doing something, love to do it. Don't just do it because, you know, of whatever the success you think comes behind it.
Exactly.
Because even that success, you're not even going to have first out. So just understand that.
Exactly.
Question number 2. With you being, I'm sorry. Okay. How do you focus with being multifaceted, and what is your why?
Oh, man. All right. How do I focus while being faceted?
Yeah, multifaceted.
And what is my why?
What is your why? Yep.
All
like,
right.
you know, why are you able to focus with being multifaceted, or, like, you know, what makes you keep going day by day and all that stuff?
Okay, yeah. I'm one of those people who, like, I have to be doing something. And so if I'm sitting downstairs, and I'm by myself, or I'm anywhere by myself where I'm just sitting there and I know I could be doing more, it just becomes a problem in my head, where I feel like I need to be trying to become better. And that's not coming from a place of, like,
fear.
It's not coming from a place of fear or feeling like if I'm not doing enough, I don't love myself. It's coming from a place of, like, I know I could be doing more, especially when I'm trying to achieve certain things. I would rather fall asleep at night knowing that I got the most out of the day than just, like, days passing by knowing, like, I could have done so much more. So that's the main reason to why I keep going. Focusing, how do I manage which ones I do? For me, it all ties back into the same thing, though. So whether I'm making TikTok videos, I'm making music, I'm making recording songs for people, it's all for the same thing, which is just, like, trying to create, and that's just what I love to do. So it's not really a balance thing. I don't think about which one do I need to put more time into, or this one or this such. It's just however I feel. However I feel, I just go with it and I do it.
Yeah, and one of the main reasons I asked that question is because, like, something that has kind of been, like, reoccurring on like the last few episodes is, you know, people feel like they have to hone in on one thing and go after it.
For sure.
And I feel like that is problematic, because excuse me, if you are good at a lot of things and you stop making time to do one thing, you lose it forever. And I feel like that's something that I guess I'll say I'm in fear of. Like, for example, I'm good at music, I'm good at this stuff, I'm good at videography, photography. So it's like, if I don't take the time to practice chords or practice producing or practice how to get better in production, then I'll lose it forever. Because like, I don't want to get to the place where I'm in the room with people that I've either looked up to or whatever, and I don't know how to do something. That I will say, I do kind of live in fear in that particular example. But I feel like honing in is the most dangerous thing you could do, even if it's like you feel like, you know, that's the one that's going to take you to whatever, but still have those other outlets that, you know, help you create. Because like a lot of things are one-sided, and, you know, other outlets could help you, you know, with that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but yeah, you answered that beautifully, bro.
Dude, I just want to add one thing to this question.
Yeah, for sure.
That I don't think enough people touch on, especially artists. One of the most important things to me is health. So I don't think, I feel like I've watched so many, like, it could be artists talking or influencers talking, where I just do not hear enough of them talking about how, and even if they're not in the fitness industry, where they don't put their health first. And I honestly believe, like, if you're healthy, dude, and you're working out, and you're just it could be doing things good for your mental health, your physical health.
Your productivity becomes a lot
much better. You can notice it too, especially working out. I worked out before this podcast today, so
that's what's up. Actually, no, for real, that's what's up.
And I've also drank 2 Red Bulls.
This man is antsy, bro.
For your health.
No, but like physical and mental, because like we see a lot of artists, a lot of whatever, they commit suicide or drug addiction or whatever, and like that comes back to mental health because of the support that they feel like they lacked with the people that they had in the circle. So
for sure, the addiction, a lot of it I think is an escape too. So I think you just got to be careful with that and. Just find healthy ways to escape.
And understand your circle. Like if you see people are doing the same thing to escape, like you don't have to do that thing. And like even though it does come down to a choice, a lot of things you are influenced by. So if you see other people do it, you think, okay, this is okay for me to do too. Correct. And like that's something that I'm starting to stray away from, is like really understanding healthier options to not even escape, but to overcome my problems in my life. And like something that I've done a lot better with is like reading the Bible, praying every day, like working out, just like really wanting to become become a better human being overall, because I feel like that's what we lack as a society, is like we're not trying to become better people, we're trying to become better workers or better basically, like, I'm sorry.
I know what you mean.
Oh yeah, like we don't really care about like our day-to-day life. We rather care about well, how am I going to get this promotion? How am I going to blah 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 blah? And like that's not really how your life is, because once that stuff is gone and it's just you and your family, you missed all that time, you missed all that effort, you missed all that. So it's just like be understanding of what support, who's in your corner, and what you're letting influence you. But go ahead if you have something.
I agree. I was also going to add to that. I seen in one of your last podcasts. Is it podcast or interview? Which one do you want?
Whatever you want people to call it. I don't have a title at all.
Cool. So in the last, I remember I saw a question. You guys were talking about how when people start to focus on themselves, other people see it as selfish. And I've recently, like, I don't know why I was stuck on that for a minute. When I watched it, I was like, yes, people do see it as selfish. It's true. And I believe it's one of the least selfish things you can do. Is like focusing on your health and making sure that you are at like peak of whatever you need to be at, so that you can be there for the people when times get hard. Like that's the least selfish thing you can do. And making sure that, like you said, just watch who your circle is and who you let around you, because they have a heavy influence on you as a person and the actions that you do. For sure. Yeah, I wouldn't keep a big circle.
Yeah, and because I feel like a lot of people don't understand how serious that is, like, being selfish in a sense, because it's not. It's really not selfish. Like, if you're, like, imagine you giving all out to different people every day. It becomes exhausting. Right. And then, like, you lose sight of who you are. Dang, I have these thoughts. Dang, I have these feelings. Like, why am I not expressing myself to understand this stuff? But it's because you didn't take the time to understand yourself. For sure. And people who don't understand themselves, then they find those gateways and they find those things to make them feel like, okay, this is the proper way to escape, this is the proper way to cope, and then it becomes dangerous, and then you're dead. So it's like really understand like the real reality of how stuff affects you and like what influences you.
For sure. The people that really love you want you to focus on yourself. For sure.
And they have to communicate that, and they do. You have to communicate that as well. Like, yeah, but just really understanding that, like, it's not selfish to express that you need time alone to understand your thoughts and how you live with your life. Because at the end of the day, like when you go home, it's your thoughts and yourself, and you have to understand how to deal with that. Because a lot of people who do escape, who do whatever, they're not comfortable with their own thoughts. They're not comfortable with their own reality. So they use that stuff to escape. Right. But as soon as you come back down from that high, back down from that whatever, then it's like, well, then what are you going to do? And then that's why people become addicted and all that stuff. But go ahead. Because you said you had to ask something, if you remember.
Honestly, bro, we covered pretty much all of it.
Okay, I just want to make sure, just in case.
Just important. Just watch who you surround yourself with.
Yeah, for sure. Important. Just understand that.
And communicate, dude. Not enough people communicate with each other.
Yeah, and that's something that I've really been kind of pushing forward with this, is like really understand how far communication goes. Like even if I may not know, because I didn't even know, I thought his name was Cannon. It's Kanan.
Mm-hmm. Kanan, yeah.
Kanan, yep. Okay, and it's like some small stuff like that. Gosh, it goes such a long way because of like. Now I get to know him on a personal level. Now he may be able to trust me in a different sense because we're getting to know each other. We're sitting down having a conversation. Like, sure. And that's something that I want to build my relationships with, because if I get to a place where I'm like, man, I could really use, someone to help me create whatever, I'm going to hit up him. I'm going to hit up somebody. So it's like, I want to keep creating those relationships where I can, where it's beneficial, first of all, right. and just get to an understanding of like, we're young, we can do it together. You don't have to do it alone. Right. So that's why I keep, trying to have these conversations.
And prior to this, we only knew each other through the internet.
This is my first time seeing him in ever. So like this is surreal.
It's way better in person for sure.
For sure.
Meet people in person.
Yeah. Question number 3. How much of a positive or negative influence has your family had in your life?
Extremely positive.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be honest. Oh, that was what I wanted to say. And I'm going to come back on this. We live in a world where I think people are scared to be vulnerable. And everybody just walks around like, just being like the tough guy, dude. And I think it's an important thing. And I think that expressing yourself however you may feel, even if you think it makes you vulnerable, is the right thing to do. Like, if you're sad and about something and you don't want to show it because you think people around you will think you look weak, it does not matter, in my opinion. I just don't think it matters. In fact, I think expressing yourself and then still handling it and going about it the best way you can is like the bravest thing you can do. So one thing also I want to touch on very quickly, because I wasn't a person who like had super bad anxiety or anything growing up in my life, but recently, just like a couple months back, dude, I was just like shocked for like 2 weeks straight. I have no clue what happened, but like it was like crippling, where I couldn't even like go outside and talk to people without feeling like I was about to die. It's crazy. I've never experienced anything like it. So then after I experienced that, I was really just super grateful that I went through that, so that I could understand that like those are actually the bravest people on the planet who go through levels of anxiety or depression like that, because it's such a personal thing to every person. It's so different depending on who it is. And that's what goes back to one of the things I was saying, where you feel like you're the only person that feels that way. But definitely understanding and communicating about it is the best thing you can do, because then you'll understand like you're not the only person.
You're not alone.
Helps.
And just find people that you're able to comfortably confide in, because like you don't want to confide in like the wrong people who can use it against you. So just understand that as well.
Exactly.
But just repeating question number 3, because like you answered part of it, but then you kind of went back, so I just want to make sure you understand what the question was. So how much of a positive or negative influence has your family had in your life?
Positive influence.
Yeah.
Go back to it. Yeah. I am blessed and fortunate to have the greatest mom on the planet, and blessed and fortunate to have an amazing dad as well. So I have 4 brothers. I have no sisters. I grew up in a house full of boys, and my mom has definitely been the leader. And my dad has definitely played a huge role too, but my mom is the bravest person I know. And she has put everything, she has sacrificed everything to make sure that we were all okay our entire lives. And I do recognize that. And for that is why it's a emotional subject for me. For sure, yeah.
And like, because like a lot of people, you had a 2-parent household.
I did.
So like a lot of people who are unfortunate with the 2-parent household. How did that really affect you in today's life? Like kind of seeing, both your parents are still together.
Mm-hmm.
Even though your mom was the leader and all that stuff, but like having that support from day one. How does that help you catapult you to where you're at now?
Just having the people in my life where I understand that if something were to go wrong, they would still love me the same. That's very important for people, I think. I work at a Springfield City School, elementary, so I work with a lot of kids who unfortunately only have one parent, or don't even live with parents, live with their grandparents, have siblings either dead or in jail. It's super sad. And the kids that I talked to at the school, after I started there, this year was my second year, definitely made me realize even more how fortunate my situation is, having both my parents in my life,
and how important it is for people to have 2-parent households, just because of a lack of 2-parent households create a lot of damage for children growing up.
Statistically,
statistically,
yeah. Sure.
And because me being in a 1-parent household, it was very hard because I had to understand things as a man on my own. My mom really couldn't teach me how to be a man, which is it's, and obviously she did the best job because she did what she could, but a lot of stuff I had to understand on my own. Or when I did go visit my dad, it's I had to create a relationship with someone, not someone because he's my father, but with my dad, to just build that. And it's hard to be raised both by both people to kind of try to make myself my own man. Right. And that's something that was tough for me. So it's very important for people to understand how relationships go a long way. If you know that you're not going to be together with this person to raise this child, please understand how it affects the child in the long run, and understand how big communication works with the mom and dad for that child to be raised correctly. And it's good to hear that you had a positive influence, because I have also had a positive influence, because I'm not sure if you came from a musical family, but I came from a musical family, so everyone in my family is musician, singer, songwriter, actor, dancer. So it's being growing up in that really helped me understand different avenues with artistry and how artistry really works. So it's
right.
How did them being a positive influence, with, obviously emotionally and physically, but how did that help you be the artist that you are, be the creator that you are? How did that?
Because I have such a good relationship with my parents, I trust a lot of things that they say, and for some reason my mom is always right. I don't know why.
Yeah.
She is for the most part.
Yeah.
When it comes to things that I might think might get me in trouble, she just can predict it ahead of time. But my dad's always been the type of person to just be you have to go through it in order to understand it, no matter what. I could tell you 1,000 things, but my dad also has taught me that. I learned this at a young age, and I'm very grateful, because I think a lot of people don't learn this until they get, say, a little bit older in life and go through some things. But he taught me that the opinions of other people don't really matter. Mm-hmm. And after I really digested that information, I just decided I'm going to make whatever I like all the time and put it out, and I just won't care what other people think. Now, I have seen this video recently that talked about how opinions of other people, when it comes to first impressions when you meet people and building good relationships with people, can have a good role on just building connections and stuff in life. Because if you just walk through life acting I don't give a fuck about anybody, I don't care about what they think, and you're just ignoring people with headphones on, walking through life all the time, you might not build the connections or build the relationships mm-hmm. or see the opportunities. But yeah, it's definitely important to just especially when it comes to music, just be yourself and put out the music that you enjoy without caring about what other people's opinions are.
Yeah, because the most amazing thing about creation is that nothing matters. You're creating. It's not supposed to be this 8-level production with 100 team camera crew and makeup and no. If you're creating out of the simple fact that you love to do it and you want to share it with people. So let that be your motive the entire time. Once you get into a place where you do have creative control to be in rooms like that of production teams, whatever, then it becomes fixated on, okay, how can we X, Y, and Z? But if you're just starting out, nothing and no one matters. You're just trying to share what you do and have people relate to what you do.
For sure. I agree.
Going to question number 4. What is something you wish you were educated on to have a better understanding of what it is and how it works?
Ooh, that's a good one. I wish I was better educated on discipline growing up, for sure.
Elaborate.
I think discipline is the key to success, and it kind of goes hand in hand with consistency. But saying you're going to do something and then doing it, and also doing the thing that you don't want to do but you have to, like, that is just so key. Now, I'm very grateful for my parents. Let's say I started playing a sport and I didn't want to play anymore, they would let me not play.
Let's just keep going before I get sad.
Let's just keep going.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Whatever. Yeah, it's probably gonna go out again. I'm just gonna turn it off before it goes out again.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna just keep going. Go ahead.
All right. Yep. That's just the biggest thing I would say that I wish I was educated more on. That and financial things like how taxes work and all that type of stuff. But, discipline for sure, because self-control, not overdoing things. So just being more disciplined. So recently I've just been working on that. I think it's very important. If I choose to have kids, I'm gonna make sure that they understand what that is.
Yeah,
it's super important.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people, like, they how can I say this? So one thing that I will continue to say until I die is potential is not a thing. And the reason why potential is not a thing, because if you have the will and the ability, you're going to do it no matter what. Nothing's going to stand in your way.
Sure.
The reason why people say, oh, this person has the potential to do this is because of the expectation they see in the future.
Right.
But if you set a goal within yourself of, if I do this every day, if I blah, 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 blah every day, if I take the time to blah, blah, blah every day, then it becomes the ability. Potential is not a thing if you're already doing it. So people need to understand that, like, if you want to do it, you're going to do it. And the discipline side comes in is when you have to be consistent with it.
Right. And
that's something that I'm still actively learning, is how to be disciplined with it. Because, like, a lot of people think that, you know, doing these talks is, like, the easiest thing. But the hardest part is editing, people. When I have 3 different cameras that I have to edit, I also am learning the importance of color grading to enhance production for you guys. So it's like the discipline with that. And then the longest part is exporting and uploading. So because of the stuff that I have right now, like, export times are looking at 2.5 hours, uploading time we're looking at 2 hours. So it's like a lot of people don't even understand that. And then we can even go to music. When it goes to music, mixing can take weeks, days, months. Mm-hmm. Putting songs together can take weeks, days, months. So it's like a lot of the stuff that, you know, you love to do, you have to love the work behind it as well. And that's something that I'm falling in love with. Like, I get so happy, well, now that I'm understanding color grading, color correction, because it's like, wow, I can make my face brighter to match, you know, the shadow from, it's just small stuff that makes me happy, because it's like, now I'm taking the time to love what I do. So now I can't wait to see my productivity in the next few months, because I'm loving to do it every day. And with discipline, understand how it can challenge you as well. But the only way that you're able to get challenges with the different people around you. And that's why I always encourage people, like, to find your community, because a lot of people won't understand, like even the friends that you record with or whatever, they might not understand you fully. But people who do, imagine what your productivity will look like if you were to do that every day. If you're around those people every day, it would, like, you would be at the place where you're at, right, or where you want to be in life. So it's like, really understand how big community is, because those are the people that'll make you disciplined, that'll make you support each other, that'll make you X, Y, and Z. So if you had anything to add, go ahead.
Go to events. That's what I would say. I think the best way to build those relationships and find the people that you want to support yourself with is go to the artist events. Go to anything that you do where there's a gathering of people that do the same thing. That's where you'll find them, because you can get so caught up in a small town where you know the same people for so long. And just go try new things. Push yourself outside the comfort zone and go meet new people. Meeting people in real life is much better than meeting them on the internet.
Yeah, because then you really don't understand how, you know,
how they feel,
how reactions work, you know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, please go like you said, please go outside of your comfort zone, just because it's like you really get to find a way to understand and expose yourself to things that you're really not even used to, and then that creates another idea for you to, so be disciplined. Wow, right. That's a great word.
Sure.
Number 5. Question number 5. Do you believe everyone has the same chance for them to fulfill the life they've always wanted?
Ask it one more time.
Yeah.
I heard you, but I just
you're good. Do you believe everyone has the same chance for them to fulfill the life they've always wanted?
I do.
Elaborate, brother.
I do. I think if you really want something, you can get it. You can go do it. And I don't want to come off cliche or cheesy or nothing, but that's really what I think. Like, it might take time. It might not come the time that you want it to, but as long as you, if you put your mind to it and you're watching videos and you align yourself with the path that you want to go, I think your brain will only see certain opportunities that will bring you closer to that goal. I mean, I sleep, like I dream on the things that I want, and I sit there and I imagine, and I don't just sit there and like close my eyes and manifest like, man, I hope this comes true. I will like do actively, that, and then I'll get up and go do something.
Actively do it, yeah.
Exactly, dude. So, and part of the reason that I have enough energy to go do that is because I focus on my health.
Yeah, no, wait at 360 that for sure. But like, I think I agree as well. Just because I feel like a lot of what steps in the way of people is their health, especially mental. And it's like, some people don't have the want to get up, the want to do, the blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And it's like, well, where do I start? How do I overcome that? So it's like, so if a person were to approach you like that, what would be your advice to them? If like, I don't know how to start, I don't know where to start. Like how would you? Okay,
yeah. First, I just want to add, I would say that if someone were to ask me that, their situation is different from every other person's situation.
For sure.
So it might be more difficult for them to get there.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? But I still do believe that if they want it, they can have it. And as long as they never quit. There's only 100% guarantee no if you quit. So as long as you keep going, that's the only like possible way. If you stop, then you won't get it. But the way I see it is, my mom has sacrificed everything in her entire, pretty much her whole life, just to make sure that I am okay and her other 4 kids are okay, which I'm blessed and very thankful for. And for that reason, if I don't do everything I can to become successful or get to where I want to be, then I think I am being a fool. And I think I'm being selfish. So I think also for the people who are trying to make it, if they don't have people around them that support them, it could be hard. It could be a lot harder, especially if they don't have that relationship of like people that they really love unconditionally and trust. If they don't have the support from them, then it might be hard. Then you do have to rely on yourself just to get yourself up every single day and get to it. But either way, to answer your question, I would tell them to just put their head down and grind. Because I would have a different answer for different ages, but for people who are in my age range, which I am 21, anyone who's from like 18 to I'd say like 27. I'm about to be Gary V for a second.
No, yeah, go ahead.
I would just put your head down and whatever you want to do, just focus on that for as long as you can, and just keep grinding every single day and go to work. And that's the biggest thing, in my opinion, is making sure that you surround yourself with the right people, which I'm pretty sure we talked about already. Making sure that there's no one around you that, like, you can tell when you have a real friend and real support around you. When you do something good, they support you. And when you do something bad, they don't drag you for it.
Right. And I think to kind of piggyback off of that, like, I also agree. Just kind of put your head down and understand if this is really what you want to do. Because I feel like people give up when they don't receive results overnight, or like where they don't receive quick results. And like that's where you really have to understand where the actual work is being put in.
Right.
Because the only way should I say the only way? if you want to get to a place where you want to in life, you have to be consistent with it. A lot of people see, you know, for example, like I'm in the YouTube world, and it's like I think I don't know, I've posted probably like 80 videos by this point, and I'm at like close to being 300 subscribers. Rather, I see someone who posted 20 videos and they have 2.4 million subscribers, and it's like I'm not really looking at numbers anymore. I'm not really looking at what stuff, you know, other people are doing, because this is my journey, right? So it's like if I can do it the way I want to and love the process of doing it, I'm doing something right. If I'm making myself happy and I'm making the people around me happy, and the people who do tune in, who do watch my stuff, they receive different types of different outlets on how they look at life. That's where the bread and butter is. That's where I know I reach people, because even you saying, I really was just quiet over like you saying, but like you said that you watched an episode and like, you know, something stuck with you. That just is, I'm just like, wow, like you took something from an episode and like, you know, it hit home with you. And that's something that is what I'm trying to do, is have people be challenged on their thinking.
Right.
Just because like a lot of people see picture perfect on social media, but that's not what life really is. So for us to be able to sit down and have conversations like this means a lot more, because once you go home, you're going to think about that, like, man, maybe I should talk to my mom like this. Maybe I should open up to my sister about why she hurt me years ago or whatever. Sure. So it's like, you know, I think that understanding your support and, you know, kind of just, you know, 360 with whatever we said earlier today as well, but just like really understanding how important communication is and how far that actually goes. If you have anything to piggyback real quick.
Yeah, just touching on the last thing you said about expressing yourself to people who might have hurt your feelings or you hurt their feelings. I believe that delayed conflict is conflict multiplied. So anytime that there's something, like there's a problem between me or another person, I'm going to address it right off the rip. Because I'm one of those people who, if I don't address it, I'll lose sleep over it. So I'm going to try my best to just resolve it as quick as possible and try to figure out a way to move on. I also think if you can communicate through problems like that, it brings you closer to that person. So
communication goes a long way, people, is what we're trying to say.
That's like the main point of this video at this point.
No, for sure.
Communicate. It's important.
Question number 6. How do you want to give back to your community if and when you are in the place of success to do so? Especially with like, are you born and raised in Springfield?
Yeah.
So I'm also born and raised in Springfield, and like kind of seeing the demographic, the stuff that's surrounded that place, like a lot of it is damaging to the society down there, just because of how you see it affecting us in real time.
Right.
So it's like, what things do you want to bring to your community when you have the will and able to do so?
Dude, that's such a hard question.
I mean, it's very broad, but, you know, answer to the best ability, for real.
I feel like everyone would just say, like, give back. But that's my biggest thing. Anytime, I don't like spending money on myself. I'd much rather... Mm-hmm. Is it on?
Yeah, it's on. I just want to make sure it's on. I got scared for a little bit, but go ahead.
I would just try to give back, dude. I believe in karma. I believe in good karma. And... giving to the people who are less fortunate than you. And like, I'm trying my best right now just to help working at a school. So there's a lot of kids who don't have a role model in their life, and I try to be that person for them when I'm helping them. A lot of kids don't have a dad at the school or whatnot, and I think it's important because there's only like 3 males working in that school, maybe like 4 of them, and I'm one of the only younger ones in there. So I really enjoy my position in trying to help right now.
But to kind of give you a better scenario or a better situation is like, for example, in Springfield, I don't know if you know the Dome.
I do. I went to school there.
Okay, so you went to Shawnee?
I went to Global Impact.
You went to Global?
Yep.
Oh,
all 4 years. Yep.
Okay, so for example, the Dome, right? Like, that was supposed to be an outlet for kids to create and express and whatever, and they had all these different avenues and all these different whatevers, but now it's being used as a hangout spot, right? So like, it's really not helping the futures of kids. It's more just like, if you get bored, come over here. And like I understand, like, you know, they could be escaping home in a sense, which I completely understand, but it's like, what boundary do we have to push for us to feel like what we're doing when we do give back to the community, that it's being something that they can actually take home to and apply it to their life? Because like I'm going to be very raw here. I'm very tired of people giving back to the community, but it's nothing that we can take home with. And like,
right.
I feel like that's something that is very big because of how whatever is going on at home, it's going to affect us in real time, in real life, at school, at parties, at events. And then you see how quick reaction is. You know, if we have shootings, if we have whatever, it always come back to what happens at home. So it's like, what do you feel, besides giving back, besides being a role model, what do you feel, what product, whatever do you feel can...
I would love to put a real studio in downtown Springfield somewhere, dude, because then people who want to make music can go there and they might make a song, and then when they leave, they can go home, and the whole time they can just be writing music.
Exactly.
Figuring out something to just get back in there the next day. So, and not let it turn into a hangout spot like the Dome.
Come on. Yeah, because I feel like people just need to be better educated, especially with like studio stuff, because like, understand how to treat the studio, don't touch certain stuff, turn off stuff when you leave, clean up, like all that stuff. Like, I think the more we are examples, and we do get to the point where, like, you know, we can put this wherever, we have to set a standard, because if you don't set that standard, then people will treat it like a hangout spot.
Right.
Go ahead if you had anything else.
You got it. I actually didn't even know that the Dome turned into a hangout spot.
No, yeah, it's bad, bro.
When I was there, it was pretty cool. Like, for the most part, there was like 3 booths in there too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was our class generation type thing. Yeah. So I was like, I recently went back like a year ago. It's just like, there's holes in the wall. There's kids betting on games. There's like, it's just like, you know, it's sad to see, like, you know, that could be their future in the streets, in the real world.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, I want to not prevent, because that's something I'm trying to get away from, is trying to prevent stuff. But like, I just want to encourage and be better examples of people in their life. Because the people, they just have to be exposed to, proper exposure, correct exposure. And I hate seeing, especially for black people, I hate seeing how fast we give up in general. And like, it just hurts. And I'm trying not to be emotional about it, because like, like that's like one of the main reasons, besides family, that I'm doing this outlet, because it's like, if we can just talk about it and we can have a proper understanding without reaction, without being judgmental, then we can really move forward.
Right. Yeah.
But that is all the questions that I had. This is the time where I usually give people a chance to ask me one question and one question only. So I'll give you some time if you have one. If you don't, fine. It's whatever. But this is your time.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question, but I want to add one more thing.
For sure. Go ahead.
I think there's a lack of encouragement nowadays for like so many people, honestly, where especially I see it happening with the kids that I help at the school. It's like you'd be so surprised how much encouragement can go. Like, it goes such a far way. And just telling somebody, like, you're proud
you
of
did
them.
A good job.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Will keep you going. And it's so sad, because there's so many kids that I work with that have not even, and it is important for a male to hear it, and I'm not even trying to get into a touchy subject here, but for a male to hear it from another male figure to tell them that they're doing a good job is important. And even though my mom has been like the star in my life, that matters too. And I've had both of them tell me, like, sports and all, just like, you've done a great job. You're doing, and it's just so important. And a lot of people will go through their whole life without even getting even the smallest bit of encouragement. So just, even if you don't know the person and you see them do something good, just tell them good job, dude.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I'm not even gonna say they want to be seen, but they want to know what they're doing has purpose in the world. So I feel like, because I even did that recently, because people I look up to are my dad, my uncle, Chauncey, and my mom. And recently I asked him, I was like, hey, like, are my video podcasts, like, is it making you proud of what I'm doing? And like a lot of the reaction was like, well, you don't have to impress me, but I am proud of what you're doing. And that made me feel a lot better, because like I'm not trying to impress them, but I want to know that their influence on my life, I didn't use it in the wrong way.
Right.
So like the choices I'm making is specifically off of how you influence my life. And I just want to make sure that since I kind of came from you guys' upbringing, that makes you happy from the stuff that I'm doing.
Right.
So I definitely get that.
Do you feel that or are you afraid of that after everything is said and done and you have gone through your journey in life and you have fulfilled all of whatever you feel your purposes are, that you will feel like it was for a reason? Because I feel like at the end of the day, we're all going to die, right? And then 100 years from now, we might not even know. The people who knew us might not even remember us. You know what I'm going with?
So yeah. So like more like legacy type.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's funny because I literally just on the last episode asked my question. That was the first question I asked my friend was, when it's all said and done, have you said more than have you have done? So it's like when it comes to that, I do have a fear, because I don't not necessarily want to be remembered, but I want to know that my impact on people was a positive impact. And because, like, again, I talk about 3 subjects a lot, but one of them are people who feel like they don't have a gift in life don't understand how big impact and influence is. Like, that is everyone's gift, period. If you don't feel like you can draw, dance, whatever, your gift is impact and influence. Someone out there in the world wants to know your perspective on life, on how you deal with it, on how you receive it, on how you give it out, and that affects them, and then they are able to do it in their personal life. But as far as like legacy goes, I don't really think about that, just because like I want to know what I'm doing in real time matters. So the stuff that I'm doing, the stuff I'm creating, the stuff I'm posting, it matters now. I do want to get to a place where I can teach and help people understand like how to be proper stewards, like, you know, stewardship with money, with homes, with how to take care of or gardening, or how to take care of your grass, your lawn. Just because like a lot of people aren't taught that, especially at our ages now. Like we see how young adults are parents, and you know, a lot of them have a lot of kids and they're not taking care of them, and it's like I want my impact on those people who feel lost in a sense. I don't really care for like legacy or whatever, because that stuff doesn't matter at the end of the day. What matters to me at the end of the day is that when I lay to rest, someone was like, wow, that man right there gave all he could to a cause or to an issue, and it mattered. And now all these people see what this man has brought. And I take no praise, no nothing, because I always give it to God first, because he's the one that gave me the gift. But I also have a choice to use that gift and how I use that gift. So yeah, legacy doesn't really matter to me, because people can make up whatever they want about you. So it's like, goes back to the whole opinion thing. Like, it doesn't matter if what I'm doing is healing people. That's what it is. If what I'm doing is healing people in real time, nothing else matters.
Good answer.
That's just what I had to say. But thank you guys for, I think you are episode 15, I want to say, because Noah was 12, right? Let's say it's episode 15. Episode 15 with Kanan Beats. His link will be in the description to his latest project and all his socials, so please go check him out. It's a huge honor, because this is someone I literally dissect their music, so it means a lot to have him on here and to have the conversation that we had today. And you know, once we go off camera, I'm sure that we'll be able to connect in the future, so look out for any projects, any collabs that we have for sure. But again, bro, I appreciate it. It means a lot. It is Noiz.I and Kanan, and we are out.